Dean Portman was better looking than Fulton Reed.
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think he ever came off as a pretty boy, but I think he did have a crush on, like, one of the girls or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't
know if it was Julie the Cat or the other one.
Yeah, because Julie the Cat wasn't in the relationship. That was Guy Germain and the other one. And Connie Moreau.
Yeah.
And Connie
Moreau, yeah. Didn't Portman have a crush on Connie Moreau?
No, because he wouldn't have, right? Because Connie was with Guy.
Here comes trouble!
It's me. It's that N to the T to the G. Rolling once again with that BTW Big Trouble Bishop taking up the whole screen. And you got myself, Nikki the Good, and we are the Meatpop Express. And today we're doing something special, brother. What we're going to do is a little something called fantasy casting. We all know about fantasy booking in the world of professional wrestling. But here at the Meatpops, man, we like to cover a lot of shit, man. We talked about Batman with that good-looking son of a bitch. Chris Van Vliet last week. Right. And it got us going, man. It got us thinking. So, Big Trouble, what are we getting ourselves into this week?
Well, let's set the stage here as I sit in my brand new chair here, my brand new office chair. Just take a look. You know, it's made for guys my size, 6'12", 15% of a metric ton. What's your chair? Well,
my chair is from Staples, brother. And it goes size. That high.
Actual size. If you're watching on the YouTube, actual size of Nick. It's okay. We'll get into that. But here, I'm going to set the stage here. We need more of that in 2023.
Yes.
I'm going to set the stage here. The reason why we're getting into this, folks, if you've been keeping up with the media, like we said, we're not just wrestling. We don't just talk about wrestling. We're a pop culture podcast at the end of the day. Right now, the actor strike, it finally ended. The actors are going back to work. We're going to start getting some of our favorite shows back. Some more movies are going back into production. Things are looking up for the media industry and the entertainment industry. So what we're doing is we are going to be fantasy casting, because we're going to leave the fantasy booking to all the marks out there. You guys can do your fantasy booking with your dream matches, all that. We are going to be fantasy recasting movies on the Meatpop Express. It's a brand new segment. We're going to do it weekly, possibly weekly with guests. We're going to have new guests on and have people come on and give us their favorite movie, and we're going to recast it. But today, we are taking both of our favorite franchises of all time. And Nick, I'll let you do the honors. To tell the people which one
of the favorites of all time. If you know anything about me, you know I'm a nostalgia nut. You know I like to take it back. I like to go back in time to my childhood. So we're going to be recasting with professional wrestlers the Mighty Ducks franchise. That's what we're going to be doing. You know they got some iconic characters, and we're going to run through about 10 of them, and we're going to recast it a little bit of a snake style, right? So Ben's going to go, I'm going to go, then I'm going to go, then Ben's going to go. You know the deal, okay, brothers? We're going to be doing it that style. We're going to be recasting the Mighty Ducks franchises. We've selected 10 of the most iconic characters from the franchise, and that's what we're going to do based on all of wrestling. It could be from any era, any time, any place, anywhere, brother. So we're going to kind of kick this thing off, and you know, Ben, I always tag you in first. So I'm going to give you the honor and the privilege of kicking off recasting with the Meatpop Express with our first dude, and I'll say who it is. We're going to, with the face of the franchise, the coach, the head of the Ducks, right? Quack, 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 motherfucker. We are starting it off with Gordon Bombay.
Emilio!
Who are you recasting Gordon Bombay with?
So, iconic character from our childhood. Everyone knows Emilio Estevez, one of the biggest stars of the 90s. But I'm going to recast the Gordon Bombay character with ECW Paul Heyman. So I'm talking about the Paul Heyman who had a group of misfits back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Group of misfits that he had to rally together to create a revolution in professional wrestling that's still talked about today. A small little company out of Pennsylvania, out of Philadelphia, and Paul Heyman was at the helm. He was steering the ship, and he was getting those guys riled up, ready to go out every single night and perform. And that's basically Gordon Bombay. He had this group of misfits, these Mighty Ducks, and he turned them into world champions. So
not only that, but I'll say that he had incredible like pump up speeches.
Yes.
And if we know Paul Heyman for anything, like you all know the documentaries right there, like they didn't want you. They didn't want you. Right?
Yep.
We all have seen the documentaries there about Paul E. hyping up the locker room, putting on the best show of the night of the year, right, with ECW. So I think that's a great pick, Ben. I think that's a great
So that's the number one pick in our Mighty Ducks recast. Paul Heyman as Gordon Bombay. All right, Nick, to you. Who you putting as Gordon Bombay?
So for Gordon Bombay, I had a little suspicion that my man Big Trouble would be taking Paul E. So I went in a little bit other direction. I didn't go with the manager or anything per se, but I'm going with the current version of Christian Cage.
Ooh,
And I'm going with Christian Cage, and here's why. Right? What happened to Gordon Bombay that made him leave the old, his chance of getting to the show? He got hurt. He got hurt, man. He hurt that knee, just like our boy Christian had to retire early, but eventually made a comeback. Just like Gordon got the old tryouts, I think with the help of Mike Madonna from the Stars, right, in the show. And I also think he's just a smug asshole. And Gordon Bombay just has that little bit
Hot
of
take.
He's got like not in real. I mean anyone would say that about Chris. His sense of humor.
Well, no, we're talking the gimmick. We're talking the gimmick.
We're talking the gimmick, but he comes off a little smug, a little bit, he's always coming at people's dads and stuff recently.
I was saying it was a hot take that Gordon Bombay is a smug.
I think he's a little smug. He's a lawyer. He's putting people in jail. He always won. He remember he made fun of his buddy because his buddy couldn't win any of the cases against him, just rubbing it in his face. I think that Christian Cage would make an excellent Gordon Bombay. And look what he's been able to do with Luchasaurus. Just look at what he's been able to do, coming back almost as a little bit of a player coach there, right? Putting Luchasaurus on the main stage of AEW. So for my pick for Gordon Bombay, recasting his ass, I'm going with Christian Cage.
All right, there we go. Okay, our second pick is one of the leaders of the Mighty Ducks, the heart of the Mighty Ducks, Charlie Conway. And we're kicking it to Nick for his pick for Charlie
Conway, okay, so he's a white meat baby face, baby. That's the deal with Charlie Conway. So for me, there's only one person right now that is Charlie Conway. I kind of feel there's a little bit of synergy with the looks of where they came from, right? So when Charlie couldn't even skate, man, the kid sucked. He wasn't even that good initially, right? But he had that talent deep down. You almost know that he was meant to be a leader, that he was meant to be one of the big dogs and one of the key players on the Mighty Ducks. So I'm going with adrenaline in my soul. Blah, blah, blah.
Ooh.
It's Cody Rhodes, baby. I am recasting Charlie Conway as Cody Rhodes, okay? So that's who I'm giving the role to. It's Cody Rhodes, white meat babyface. No one does it better. He's hopping over guardrails. He's signing kids. He's kissing babies, right? He's got the iconic name like Conway, Rhodes, right? It just works for me. So I'm going with Cody Rhodes for Charlie Conway. He's the white meat babyface fighting from below, but he's going to be the big star one day. You know what's coming. Triple Deke, motherfucker.
All right. That's a good pick. He didn't even cross my mind, Cody Rhodes. That's a great pick for Charlie Conway. Even, coming up from, is that where he was when he was with WWE back in the day? And, just these gimmicks.
They made him Stardust. And then he was Stardust, man.
And then he became the heart of AEW. And now you might even say he's the heart of WWE now.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a good one. All right, I'm making my pick pretty easy. Nick thought about his and made a good point, but I'm going with the whitest meat baby face of all time, and it's got to be the 07 to 2012 John Cena. Ooh. And we're talking about the general manager era of Raw. We're talking about the epitome of hustle, loyalty, and respect, John Cena. Those years of having John Cena in the different colors and everything, and the kids and the Make-A-Wishes and everything, the ultimate babyface of all time in professional wrestling. And he also was controversial, which people said Charlie Conway was a little controversial as well. I thought he was a little bit too white meat babyface. Same thing with John Cena. So I'm taking John Cena to lead the Mighty Ducks as Charlie Conway.
I dig it. And, listen, heart and soul, right? who was the heart and soul of WWE for like literally over a decade? It was John Cena. So, I mean, I don't even think the Mighty Ducks would have stayed a team if it wasn't for Charlie. You know, Charlie was the one that kept everyone together. You know, the Ducks fly together. If it wasn't for him making sure that everyone always kept, you know, Bombay's back, they may have never have gone on and been able to beat the Hawks. You know, that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles there. Speaking of the Hawks, though, so the next person, and Ben, you got the pick here. It's not worth winning if you can't win big. You know that's the quote, and it came from who? Jack Reilly. Coach Jack Reilly of the Hawks, right? Those bad bastards, right? So the villains, if there was a faction in that movie, man, I wanted to be on the Hawks so fucking bad. Those jerseys were so damn cool, man. But Ben, Tag, you're in. You got the first pick.
Let's talk about gimmicks.
I'm praying you don't take who I got.
Let's talk about factions, and one of my favorite factions of all time. They get too much heat, but I love this storyline. The New Blood in WCW and their leader, Vince Russo.
Whoa.
I'm taking Vince Russo as Jack Reilly. Again, the New Blood in WCW was such an awesome faction with all the younger guys against the Millionaires Club, you know, with the Flairs and the Hogans and the Nash and the Macho Mans of the world. But you had the younger guys like the Vampiros and the Natural Born Thrillers, an underrated faction. I got to go with my guy, Vince Russo from WCW 2000. A hell of a year in wrestling, and I don't want to hear anyone say any different.
Listen,
Nick,
you're not going to find a bigger fan of the New Blood. The New Blood has never been mentioned more on any podcast on the history of the planet Earth than the Meatpop Express. Our guy Ben, if he could be on in the New Blood, you just call it a day, right? I mean, that's your WrestleMania.
Whew, it is.
And you know I love Vince Russo. I don't give a damn what any of you morons say out there. I like Vince Russo. I think he has a lot of great points, bro, because it's sports entertainment, bro. It's a television show, brother. Okay, so back to me. Jack Reilly, the coach of the Hawks. A real piece of shit. Right? Dude was just, he was telling little kids to take out the legs of Adam Banks. He was saying, I want Banks out of the game. Out of the game.
Good TV,
so
bro.
Who is so damn dastardly? Who is so damn dastardly? He might be so dastardly that this guy would actually chase this was done in an actual, don't cancel, this was done in an actual, storyline. He chased Mexicans out of the border. I'm going with JBL as my Jack Reilly. I think it's perfect. There was no bigger piece of shit in the WWE than JBL. He led factions. He was breaking all the stereotypes, things you just didn't do. Things that would get you canceled now, JBL was doing them on national television. Okay? And if you've encountered him, he's got the same vibe. He's got the voice. He's got the vitriol and the way that he screams at you, right? And he's just a damn sore loser, man, and so was Jack Reilly. So I'm going with Jack Reilly being recasted as my man JBL with the cowboy hat. It's not worth winning if you can't win big, and there's nobody bigger than JBL back in the day when you want to talk about heels, man.
All right, no, that's a good one, especially JBL and those. What was it, like that 04,
yeah, I mean, dude, he was the biggest heel on SmackDown.
The king of wrestling.
The king of wrestling. I mean, he was just, from New York. He turned his back on everything he had ever known. He basically deserted all of his, actual hometown fans, right, whatever. So he was terrible. I mean, with the stuff he was doing, man, these storylines, what they put him in, just bad
now, Nick,
news,
have
man.
you ever heard the story behind that character?
I mean, no.
Story time with BT Double B.
Ooh.
So what happened was JBL, when he was Bradshaw in the early 2000s, he was kind of seeing, it's not, that his role's kind of diminishing. But he started making a lot of money in stocks.
Yep.
And he started getting into the stock market and doing that type of stuff and getting interested in that. So he went to Vince and was like, hey, I think, I'm not really as useful anymore. I got other plans, things going on. And Vince's like, what do you got going on? So he started telling him what he's doing. He goes, that sounds great. He's like, what? And he's like, do that. He's like, be that guy. Like, just be that guy.
You know what, man?
That's why Vince is a goddamn
That's
billionaire.
why Vince is a genius. Because, dude, that heel character was he did some nasty stuff online, like nasty stuff.
Yep.
But damn, for the times, man.
Yep.
And maybe it's probably a little bit. It's a little bit of who he is. Like that's not. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just put that on camera, man. And he was hated. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Little Nicky the Good, I hated that son of a bitch, Jack Reilly.
There it is. There it is. That's
So
a good one. So
go.
I think we're back to you with our next pick. And he was probably the most talented. Actually, not probably. He was the most talented Mighty Ducks. Naturally gifted. Adam Banks. So, Nick, this to you.
I have a suspicion that we're going to have the same person for this.
Okay.
Okay? So you say naturally talented. Adam Banks, what was his nickname? What was the nickname that was given to him by the Ducks?
What was it?
What they called him when he came into the ring, in the room?
I forget. You got to go.
Cake
you gotta tell me.
eater. Cake eater.
Cake eater. Yep.
Because he was rich. He had it all. He was good looking. Probably, as an older gentleman, jacked. The whole deal. He was the best player in all of Pee Wee. Period.
Yep.
There was no one better than Adam Banks. All the girls wanted to go to prom with him. All of the little marks wanted to be him. And guess what? Adam Banks, I'm recasting. There's only one person, and it's Randy Orton.
That's
okay?
it.
Third generation born, put on this planet to be a professional wrestler, and Adam Banks was born to be on the Hawks. And if it wasn't for the little bit of geography and them changing the lines and that old bastard Hans coming to Gordon and being, look at the map. Look at the map. Look at the line. They have redone the lines, Gordon. There might be a player there, and that player just so happened to be the best player in all of Pee Wee hockey. It was Adam Banks, and Adam Banks is Randy Orton. I'm just surprised when he did when he's scoring like 19 goals a game, he didn't hit the pose at the top of the ice, brother.
No, that's it. That's my choice too, folks. It's got to be. I mean, Randy Orton, throughout the years, people have said it ad nauseum. They say it all the time. The guy is the perfectly built professional wrestler. Standing, 6'3", 6'4", chiseled out of stone. He's so smooth in the ring. He's so good at this shit. It has to be. Adam Banks had to be. Randy Orton had to be recasted as Adam Banks. So that's an easy one. That's an easy one. We're both choosing Randy Orton.
And I love Adam Banks, man. I just love the good-looking dudes that are great at things. I just see a lot of myself in him.
There it is. I see it too.
Moving along to the next one. So we got the old goalkeeper. This going back to you, Ben, for the first pick in here. We're going with Goldberg. No, Goldberg. Who's Goldberg to you, Ben? Who you recasting?
Oh, boy, Nick, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one. And I'm throwing, this is very obscure. We're moving away from the John Cenas and the Ortons and the Cody Rhodes. I am taking the infamous, the sloppiest oaf of all time, the Bastion Booger.
Whoa! Okay.
The Bastion Booger to play Goldberg. This guy was gross.
Trip to the Batcave, baby.
Trip to the Bat Cave, trip to the snack cabinet with Goldberg. Yep, I got to go with Bastion Booger here. I mean, look, probably similar bodies. They're both pretty gross, but they're both iconic. People remember Bastion Booger, and people will always remember Goldberg. I would say, really, of the franchise, besides Bombay, I mean, people remember Goldberg as the guy on the franchise.
I mean, he's the goalie, right? Like the goalie, you knew had to be someone that
he was like the face of one of the posters too.
Yes, he was dead center in the dead center face of the poster. I also remember his iconic thing where like who farted? Goldberg. He's like, it wasn't me. And then he's like, it was me.
It was, so yep.
So I was hoping you didn't take my guy here, and you didn't. So For me, Goldberg was the comic relief. He was the comic relief of a little bit of the Mighty Ducks, right? He was either making a joke that landed or he was the butt of the joke, right? So here we go. I'm going with the Blue Meanie as Goldberg doing the little shimmy because he did a little dance. If you remember when the when the Ducks were humming and just crushing teams, I think it may have been the U.S. hockey team when they were the U.S. hockey team in D2. He was dancing, doing the little shimmy because he was bored as hell because we're just routing these people. You know, we're routing these other countries. We're the superpowers, brother. Right? We're just routing them. And pretty much, that's I'm going with the Blue Meanie because, doing the Blue Meanie dance there.
Yep.
Comedy relief, white meat, babyface himself, beloved by everyone. And also, we met him at StarCast and was an absolute great guy. And I'm going to tag him in this clip and hopefully get a little retweet. So I am recasting Goldberg as the Blue Meanie. That's my deal, brother.
All right. Well, now next. The muscle of the Mighty Ducks, the bad boys of the Mighty Ducks, the Bash Brothers. Dean Portman and Fulton Reed, we're putting them together, and we're going to choose a tag team to recast this role. So, Nick, this is your choice. Go ahead, take it.
Well, super torn on them because first of all, I love the Bash Brothers. If you remember Dean Portman just coming on, being like, "Don't you know that everything's on fire?" Came in with Fulton Reed. They became the Bash Brothers. One of the
best. The best. I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt you here.
Go ahead.
The best scene in these movies is when he came in with when he was in the locker room and he found out he got back into the school. When he had the admission, he's like, "I'm back!" Goosebumps City. Oh, Goosebumps up and down.
Goosebumps.
He came in reading the letter, and then that just rallied the Ducks to victory. But yeah, go ahead.
You got it, man. So I was really torn because there's some tag teams, man, that just stand out right away. There's going to be an honorable mentions probably because there's only two of us here. But when I think of Bash Brothers, I'm trying to think of what is their purpose? They're enforcers. They're there to protect. Maybe you hire them to protect you. So I'm going with he was another guy in my little list here. I'm going with the APA, Farouk and Bradshaw. That's who I'm going with the Bash Brothers because it wasn't even about what they weren't trying to score. Right? It wasn't like we're the best, right? But what we are is we're the enforcers. We're going to make sure that Banks and Conway can do what they need to do on the field. That's what you did back in the WWE, WWF, right? What'd you need? You getting bullied? Right? You need someone to protect you so you could do your job. What do? You knock on the old door, you walk through to the poker table, you throw down your cash, and you say, "Hey, Farouk, Bradshaw, need a little help here, brother. I need some protection." So I'm going with the enforcers of WWF, the Acolytes Protection Agency, the APA, brother.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised you didn't take who I'm about to take.
Well,
APA is a great pick. It didn't even cross my mind. That's a great pick because it fits very well. But I'm going, off the beaten path a little bit because it could have been easy. I could have picked the Road Warriors. I could have picked Axe and Smash, Demolition. There's a few I could have picked Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Enforcers. But no, I am going with Sags and Knobs, the Nasty Boys,
my favorite
as the Bash Brothers. The Nasty Boys, the Nasty Brothers, they could have been called in this movie. So I'm taking Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags as Dean Portman and Fulton Reed. And you can choose whichever one you want for each. I don't know which one who would be who. We know Dean Portman's more of the pretty boy Fulton. Dean Portman was more of the pretty boy, and Fulton Reed was. Yes, I'm getting them. Dean Portman was better looking than Fulton Reed.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah,
I
don't think he ever came off as a pretty boy, but I think he did have a crush on one of the girls or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know
if it was Julie the Cat or the other one.
Yeah, because Julie the Cat wasn't in the relationship. That was Guy Germain and the other one. And Connie Moreau.
Yeah. And Connie Moreau. Yeah. Didn't Portman have a crush on Connie Moreau?
No, because he wouldn't have, right? Because Connie was with Guy.
That's right.
You're
right.
We're getting off topic.
Folks, let
here.
us know.
We're getting
Let
off
us know.
topic.
We're not a Mighty Ducks podcast. We can be though.
I actually love that pick. You know the Nasty Boys have a special place in my heart. They're probably maybe like gimmick wise like my favorite tag team of all time because there's nothing better than a guy whose move is literally put you in the corner and put his armpit in your face, and it was and the move was called a trip to Pity City. I mean, there's just nothing better. There's just nothing better, bro.
It really is, and I can see Fulton Reed and Dean Portman knocking someone down up against the boards, putting them up against the boards, and just putting the arm up and stuffing him, taking him a trip to fucking Pity City. All right, well, next, my choice, right?
Yes, because I went first. Next up, but I'll say who it is. So next up, we just mentioned her. She's probably the most iconic female of the franchise. It's Julie the Cat, the goalie that took Goldberg's spot because he's slow and probably overweight. But okay, here you go.
So Julie the Cat, always reliable, and she's got that nickname, the Cat. So there was only one person I could go with for this, and it is Natalia Neihart.
Whoa,
I'm going with Natalia. Everyone knows if you have an online presence in wrestling, you know she loves cats. They love cat. Her and her husband TJ Wilson, they love cats. So, and really the most important thing, she's been reliable for years on end in the WWE. I think she has the most wins ever by a woman. She is, I think really the absolute. I always say this. I always say the best ability is availability, and Natalia was always available and always able to help. Now she trains people. She helps the next generation of women stars, and really, Julie the Cat was always reliable.
And I'll say this about Natalia Neidhart. She's gotten in phenomenal shape recently. I mean, she was always in good shape, but she has even as listen. You get older, right? If you want to look at someone and be like, hey, man, like how have they just taken the ball and run with it? She's done it. She keeps it like available. Like it ain't just a coincidence. She's putting in that work, okay? She's usually like in almost every damn segment. And if there's a Saudi show, you know they're sending her. Like she's going. Like she goes to everything, okay? So we need to put respect on Natalia's name. And
Give her flowers now.
Give her flowers right now. So Julie the Cat, going back to me, super athletic. I mean, glove side, like just quick hands. I'm going with, I think, a female that can physically do the role of Julie the Cat, who is known for her speed, her athleticism, and she wasn't too hard on the eye, easy on the eyes. Let's just say, she's a looker. I'm going with Tori Wilson. Going with Tori Wilson. She also was a white meat baby face, super athletic, had the fitness background, right? I just think there's some synergy there. I think there's some synergy between her and Julie the Cat. I was thinking about actually making the Cat my pick, the actual Cat, but I thought that was like, a pretty much, I don't know. Like just a cop-out. So I'm going with Tori Wilson just from a pure athletic standpoint. Also, both are quite the lookers. So I'm going with that.
There we go. All right. Coming up next, he was the most graceful skater of the Mighty Ducks. None other than Woo Woo, Kenny Woo. Nick, to you.
Okay, so I got this one. And now, listen, I know we're all going to look at Woo Woo, Kenny Woo, and say, who's the Asian guy that you're going to pick, Nick? Who is it? But I'm not.
Oh.
But I'm not. Because I'm throwing another woo at the end of that woo, brother. Because woo, 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 you know it. Casted Zack Ryder as Woo Woo Kenny Woo. Who gives a shit what he looks like? Who cares? He's graceful. You want to see grace? Watch Zack Ryder get thrown off the stage by Big Kane while he's in a friggin' wheelchair.
He loves that clip. Keep sending that. Yeah,
he loves that clip.
He loves that clip.
Keep tweeting the clip of Zack Ryder getting thrown off the stage.
Absolutely.
And you want to talk about grace? Let's talk about it. The way he got thrown off that stage, he should have shattered both knees. There's not like they were like how you don't practice that for sure. But, I mean, literally, that could have been absolutely catastrophic, but not for the most graceful man on WWE programming at the time. Woo, woo, woo is woo, woo, Kenny Woo, as I'm casting him in the old Mighty Ducks fantasy casting. And now, Ben, here's to you. I'm giving the stereotype to you. Let's see if you took
All
the
right.
bait.
No, I'm not. I'm not taking the stereotype because we think more on this pod. We're not just gonna throw in an Asian wrestler just to say, oh.
I'm not going to say Taka Michinoku, okay? All right, Taka Michinoku. I know all you would think it was going to be Taka Michinoku.
I might have just changed it. I might have had Taka Michinoku. But so who I'm gonna pick? They share the same name. They both. And this guy has an affinity for Asian culture.
Oh, I love this, man.
And they're both pretty graceful in the ring. We're going to go with the best bout machine. Yup, Nick's got it. Kenny Omega. Bang!
Bang. Great pick.
Kenny Omega. Yep, both graceful. Obviously Kenny Wu. I don't know his nationality, so I'm sorry. Don't jump on me for that. Kenny Omega
Italian.
has.
I think
he
Kenny
could
Wu's
be
Italian.
We don't see. We don't know. He could be. So last name ends with a vowel, so that probably is Italian. But Kenny Omega. Yep, got to go with him. Spent so much time in Japan. Graceful in the ring. One of the greatest, as he proclaims, greatest artistes in professional wrestling. Take that as you will. But yeah, that's my choice. Kenny Omega as Kenny Wu.
All right. So the next one up we got is one of the more iconic heel characters in Mighty Ducks history. We're going with another one. He's just a cool bastard, man. I mean, and listen, this might be the coolest name in all of cinema, in the history of cinema. So Ben, the pick's to you, but you're going to go with the best player on the Iceland team, bar none. We're going with Gunnar Stahl.
Gunnar Stahl. Okay, so I'm going with somebody that is pretty modern, and has one hell of a look, and I cannot wait for this guy to really get to that next level. Because he's got the ability in the ring. He can talk.
You got who
and
I
he's
got.
just got that inflection. When every time he announces Walter to the ring. I'm sorry. Gunther to the ring. It just is incredible. Yep, sorry, Nick. I'm going with Ludwig Kaiser for this choice as Gunnar Stahl.
Okay. I mean...
What? Was that who you had?
No.
Okay, so I got, Ludwig Kaiser as Gunnar Stahl. He has the look. He's got the hair. Gunnar Stahl a little bit longer hair, but Ludwig Kaiser, he's got the nice kind of floppy hair, and he's got that absolute smug look. And I could see him being a major villain to that U.S. team. So, yep, I'm going with Ludwig Kaiser.
So I had a few people on this list, and I'll mention a few of them. So we had Gunther was one of my guys that I thought about, right? So Gunther's stoic, right? But I don't think he had the look that I was looking for in Gunnar Stahl. Another guy I had on the list was The Miz. I thought The Miz could be a good Gunnar Stahl. But I'm going with the heel version when he came back. I'm going with Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay.
He's got the Scottish accent. I don't know if there's an Iceland accent, but
much different. But yep, it's okay.
But if Little Nicky the Good was in the theaters and you had Gunnar Stahl talking in a Scottish accent, I would have been like, yeah, that's what an Iceland person sounds like.
Yep.
But I think physically, the long hair, the eyes, just the absolute presence that a dude the size of Drew McIntyre, who let's just honestly say, like, pound for pound, he might have like the best the best physique. Like,
I would say,
like, he's not like beyond chisel, but he's almost like too massive to be that like low body fat. But he's got the hair, he's got the hair, like the hair on the chest, he's got the beautiful locks, right? He's got the beard, he's got the accent. Like, create a wrestler, him, but also create a hockey player. I'm probably going to create Gunnar Stahl. So that is Gunnar Stahl. And then we also have, I think we're going to round out the list here with our guy. Now, he's one of the more iconic guys because he was in D2. And this is how they figured out how to beat the Iceland team. I mean, they were lost. They had no chance. But listen, they went to the hood, man. They went to like, you know, where like they just did things a little bit differently because baby, it's knuckle puck time. We're going street hockey and we're going with one of the more iconic characters, let's just say, like, or the iconic actors, let's say, in like pop culture in general, right? Kenan Thompson playing Russ Tyler. Okay, it's knuckle puck time, right? Who didn't as a kid, first of all? Who didn't load up the puck and just fire knuckle pucks all day in the street?
And just see if it works.
Kids these days, man, I feel bad because they will never, ever, ever experience that. The feeling of going out with your friends with some rollerblades on, throwing up 2 nets, and, hey, like, you know, yelling, car, and then getting off the street. But, hey, baby, it was knuckle puck time. And, Ben, who goes first here? I think I go first, right?
Yes, you do. You do.
Okay, so this dude had flair. He had to show people how it's done. He was wildly entertaining, and he was always into a little bit of mischief, right? A little bit of tomfoolery, because if you remember, he had a target on his back because, man, like this guy, whenever the knuckle puck was loaded up, right? Get the shooter, like, right? That's what the Wolf, the coach of the Iceland team, would yell. And they actually dressed up in the movie someone as Russ Tyler because they were trying to open him up so that he could land the knuckle puck, right? Because there was such a defensive effort to make sure that he couldn't get that shot off. So I'm going with this guy. I'm going with R-Truth. Because there was no one that had more tomfoolery to make sure that he was able to get that 24/7 title than R-Truth, right? Like it's more of like a thing. Like he was a champ. He's a veteran. He knew his craft. He knew exactly what to do. I'm going with R-Truth as Rush Tyler because he's just unpredictable, but he always delivered no matter what he was doing. It's knuckle puck time for me. It's R-Truth. What's up?
All right, so for me, and obviously, if you look at the Mighty Ducks, you can really say they got very stereotypical with a lot of the characters in these movies.
Maybe.
But you know what? It was a simpler time, and no one was thinking like that. So we were all having fun. We were just having fun, right? It was okay.
Just having fun.
It's all right, just having fun. So I'm gonna go with obviously Russ Tyler, Kenan Thompson, one of the most entertaining comedians, actors of all time. I was a big mark for Keenan and Kel. Good Burger actually is being filmed in my home state of Rhode Island. Good Burger 2 is being filmed.
Great theme song.
So they're getting Good Burger 2 is coming out. That's a free ad for Good Burger 2. You're welcome, Keenan. And Kel, if you know, I know he was on Dance 360 for a while. But regardless, we're getting off on a tangent. Russ Tyler, for me, this guy's entertaining as hell, and he's big. He's a big dude. But hey, he didn't just walk around and be like, hey, I'm big, that's my gimmick. He created a whole new gimmick with 2 of his best buds. I got to go with Big E Langston.
Oh, shit,
Russ Tyler. Yep.
That's a big miss for me. Big E is a better pick than R-Truth.
Yeah, so just you know, he's fun-loving. Russ Tyler was a jokester. But you know what? When he had to get the job done, he could do it. He had that knuckle puck. That was a secret weapon. And Big E is really the secret. I mean, not a secret anymore, but you know, he was the weapon on in the new day. So Big E Langston, hopefully he heals up soon and we can see him again. But I would recast him if he's looking for something new and they should make a Mighty Ducks remake, he'd be great as Russ Tyler. Boom.
And that's the list, folks. So that's what we're going to be doing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was actually one of the more fun I've ever had on this pod. We want to kind of merge our pro wrestling love and pro wrestling into modern day pop culture, or just past pop culture, get a little nostalgic. That's what we're trying to do here. That's why I'm in this damn room with all these action figures and Ninja Turtles behind me and Rad, and then we got Back to the Future over my left shoulder. I had a great time. I thought this was great. What we're going to do is we're going to start doing this with guests. We're going to have people come on. This was a little bit inspired, I think, by CVV. CVV talks about Batman, and we're start perking up. We throw that little clipski online, and you dumb marks were like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, oh, my God. What did he do? What did he say? Oh, well, he said that Michael Keaton was this. Shut your mouth. Give me the click. and subscribe.
Yeah, skip the
And that's what we
clip,
need
just-
from you. So Ben, what do we got going on? You want to get your shit in here and tell people what do we got going on? with the
We got
Meatpop
going
Express and
on
Big
this
Trouble?
this weekend. I will be in Rome, Georgia, at Primetime Wrestling, the Costa Valley Fairgrounds. Myself, the Stuff Buff Bagwell will be there as well. So if you're in the Rome, Georgia area, come on out. Come on out, support. $15 a ticket. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's gonna be a fun time. Really good time. Other than that, I'll be at WrestleCade. Yes, I will be at WrestleCade in a few weeks. So, folks, if you see me there, unofficially official at WrestleCade, walking around, I'll probably have the MPX shirt. I'll probably have the hat on. I'll probably be dressed like a moron, but it doesn't matter. You'll know heads are going to turn when I'm going to be walking through that room. No, I am not Big Cass. I am not Big Bill, but I am Big Trouble Ben Bishop. So come say hi. Let's have some fun at WrestleCade, November 24th and 25th. Nick, what about you?
So me, I'll be at my house for the majority of the time when Ben's doing all those things. What do I got coming up here? I actually just got tickets to that AEW show on 12/30 on December 30th.
Ooh.
So what is it called? End of the World or something like that? Right?
World's End? Maybe
World's End,
World's
yeah.
End.
World's End. So I'm actually going to that show. And here's a little tip. It's like the Meatpop Express. We're going to be on TV all night long because I'm sitting row 2.
Ooh, yep.
Hard cam.
Hard
Okay,
came.
so I just got those tickets, so I'll be sitting there. It's at the Nassau Coliseum. I went to Hofstra University, so that is my backyard, brother. That's a home show. I got home field advantage, right? I'm going to be dressed just like this in your faces all damn night. So I'll be doing that on 12:30. Going to maybe post up at Hofstra a little bit. I'm going to be in the parking lot dressed like a moron. You're going to probably throw the microphone in your face. And if you guys
Ooh,
want to
yup.
talk while it's cold as shit outside, well, I plan on going viral before the new year, brother. But also, you got to follow us everywhere and make sure you subscribe. We are creeping towards 1,000 subscribers
are.
on
We are.
YouTube, trying to get to that Chris Van Vliet number.
Well,
But
yeah,
you
probably by the end of the year.
So make sure you give us a little subscribe. Make sure you're rating us on Apple, on Spotify. Please leave reviews. They help us so damn much. We're so much more
Please.
entertaining than the other shows out there that cover this type of stuff. So we'd really appreciate it if you gave us some love because we're just better. You can follow Ben at Big Trouble BB everywhere. You can follow me at Nicky the Good everywhere, and follow us at Meatpop Express everywhere. And that's the deal. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to be coming at you with a little bit more fantasy casting in the near future. If you have a particular movie that you would like us to recast, let us know. This ain't the casting couch, okay, brother? This is a really true professional thing. So no friggin' jokesters out there. I know you're going to come at that with the base of the name of this new seg. But Ben, you got anything else to say to these marks?
Nothing else besides keep it positive, keep it trucking, and keep the shades on because the sun never sets on a cool guy.
Later, marks.